Alright, what's up you guys? Hawk here as always with weekly anime manga reviews, and I'm here to review Tokyo Ghoul Re Chapter 176. Alright, where do I even start with this one? So, Tokyo Ghoul Re, I kind of want to pull up the chapter so I know what I'm referencing, but, alright. So Tokyo Ghoul Re, Chapter 176, is by far probably going to be one of the most split chapters within the fandom ever, due to the fact that you're gonna have people that are like, okay, this is not great, but I can accept it because we know that Tokyo Ghoul is going to be ending soon and it's obviously being rushed. But then you're also gonna have people who are just gonna be like, dude, F this chapter, Ishida, F you, blah 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 blah. So I don't really know where the fandom stands on this. I haven't been on Twitter today, so I don't really know. But to be honest, I didn't hate this chapter of Tokyo Ghoul. I really didn't. I'd be lying if I said I did, but I'd also be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed. Now, obviously, like I said before, I'm aware of the situation of Tokyo Ghoul ending, all that stuff. I've made a video about it. I even talked about it in my live reaction, but Furuta is the main antagonist of the Tokyo Ghoul story. And for him to go out like this, once again kind of cements my claim where I said Furuta is by far one of the most wasted characters in Tokyo Ghoul. He had the potential to be one of the best. It's sad that Ure, who I don't even know if you can really consider him a main character, at least not anymore, is more developed than him, and you also have where several other people are more developed than Furuta, in my opinion. I would say characters like Akira, Mutsuki, a whole slew of characters are better developed than Furuta. I still like Furuta. Furuta is still my second favorite character, but I felt like that the way how he was done was kind of disrespectful. Now, I don't have a problem with the way how he's acting in this chapter. In this chapter, the way how he's acting, the stuff with him kind of like pseudo-admitting what he actually really wanted to Kaneki, I actually thought was very sad, to be entirely honest with you. I thought it was really sad because the life that Kaneki has right now is the life that Furuta always wanted, and unfortunately Furuta can't have that because Furuta's dying. Like, he was gonna die anyways, and Furuta, I believe him and Kaneki are the same age, or Furuta's slightly older, if I'm not mistaken, which I believe Kaneki right now is 23. And most of the Washis die by the time they're like 30. So Furuta, I don't know, it's just weird because even though we know Furuta's motives to a degree, not all of them, where it's like, okay, he wanted to destroy the world and kind of like sort of pseudo recreate it, and just for a laugh, which I was just kind of like, okay, Ishida, I can see what you're trying to go for. You want us to fill the sympathy card for Furuta, but for me personally, it doesn't work. And I love Furuta. Furuta, he's done so much stuff, and he's even admitted that he's thought it was funny. He's genocided a whole slew of ghouls. He's killed a lot of humans as well, innocent people, mind you, and you kind of expect us to feel bad for him. It's kind of like, yeah, obviously the world of Tokyo Ghoul and even the real life in general is not black and white. It's there's like tons of shades of gray, but it doesn't really work in this situation. I feel like painting Furuta as a villain and not necessarily as someone that is sort of relatable to Kaneki, it does go along with the whole entire duality aspect that I do like between villains and heroes, but since Ishida was so cut on time, it wasn't presented as well as it could have been. So that's kind of my thoughts when it comes to that. But besides that, Furuta, okay, so, or going back to Kaneki, so I've seen that some people are a little bit upset with Kaneki, him saying like, if I had the choice to do it all again, I would. The whole entire stuff with Rize and, you know, all the crap that's happened to him so far, torture, all that. I don't really have a problem with it. Like, even though I don't like the fact that Kaneki flat out admitted it, because it was very obvious that was Kaneki's mindset to begin with, I don't have that much of a problem with it, because it's like, yeah, it's obvious. I'm not surprised, because Kaneki's life before he became a ghoul wasn't really that great either. He had like one friend, and him becoming a ghoul and going through all these hardships and even becoming like kind of like screwed up in certain cases has caused him to meet a lot of people that he loves. It caused him to meet Toka and him to actually have a family. So that's really cool. Now, one thing that we did also get that I feel like a lot of people are going to be mad about is Kaneki not finishing off Furuta. Like, obviously, Kaneki is the reason why Furuta ended up dying, which I'm going to get into that in a moment because I do have problems with Furuta dying to a degree. I'll explain a little bit more in a second, but Kaneki, the fact that Kaneki supposedly has to get rid of the nucleus at the end of the chapter, which we know the other nucleus happens to be Rize, along with himself. If Kaneki didn't really feel obligated to finish off Furuta, and just let him like just kind of like die, I don't think Kaneki has the stomach to finish off Rize, who sort of in this situation, even though Rize isn't technically quote unquote innocent in general because she's done a lot of messed up things for the sake of just wanting to live like a free life, but from the grand scheme, when you're looking at it, the dragon situation, Rize is kind of a victim. So I don't know if Kaneki has the stomach to finish her off when she was kind of thrown into the situation just like how he was. So it's going to be interesting when we actually see Kaneki and Rize encounter one another officially, and if Kaneki actually has the stomach to do it. So yeah, that's going to be... Because I've said it before, I always kind of felt like that if Kaneki saw Rize again, he would kind of be like, you know, let's just get you out of here. You'll be under my watch. I want you to just kind of live the life that you wanted to live. You wanted to be free. You can finally be free or something like that. That's what I always thought. But now it's a little bit more messy than that. So I'm not really sure if that's the route that she is going to go. Now, final thing I should probably say, though, about Furuta, before we end off this review. Furuta dying the way how he did, I have issues with it. Mainly because of what happened with Eto. Furuta's regen debatably should, like, since he has Rize's Kakaho, right? Rize was able to heal from steel beams, from being crushed by steel beams, though she was unconscious, most likely after that. She was able to heal from that. Kaneki was able to heal after getting his head stabbed through by Arima, and getting multiple of his limbs cut off while he wasn't eating properly. You're telling me that Furuta, who was showcased to be on par with Kaneki, not necessarily stronger than him, but on par with him, and also has Rize's Kakaho, and in some ways it's kind of like a better version of Kaneki, can die from just getting like stabbed through the side. And from what it looks like, it's not even like I'm gonna have to stand up for this. It's not even like a giant hole in his side. It's just like he got stabbed. Like, it's almost kind of like in a movie, for example, right? Like, let's say a movie with like suspense or action or something. You know how like sometimes like the main Dorogonist, which is like the buddy to the main character, the person who's working alongside of the main character, they might get like shot on the side. It's like, fuck, dude, I'm dying. Like, it was like almost that situation, which I was kind of like, last chapter, Eto got her head grew back. Her entire freaking head grew back. And Naki had his skull split open and was able to come back from that somehow. And he's not even, like, he's like an average ghoul. He's like an average ghoul. Like, yeah, he's S rank, but he's like an average ghoul. Freaking, like, oh my god, I'm just trying to think of, like, the crazy other shit that people have been able to heal from. Noro was able to regenerate from getting his head kicked off. He got freaking split in two by freaking, or multiple pieces by Nutcracker. Like, and you're telling me that that's all it took for Furuta? One of the strongest characters in TG, the dude who beat Eto, isn't able to come back from that? Like, really? Like, I would have been able to swallow it if it was, like, Kaneki, like, flat out, like, left a hole in his stomach. Because even Kaneki back in part 1 nearly died from that, when his fight with Almond, right? Obviously, this is, like, Furuta's stronger than that version of Kaneki, but if Kaneki, like, finished him off, like we actually saw Kaneki end him, which he didn't, from what it looks like, Kaneki just kind of left him to die, and Furuta kind of, like, went through a whole entire, like, dream sequence, saw Rize and, you know, him, like, playing as children, playing house or whatever, and then he died. That's just weird. Like, oh god. Oh god, this is stressful. Like, you know, I'm not even gonna, I don't even know what I have to say about this. In my live reaction, I gave this chapter a 8 out of like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. Probably gonna drop it down. Probably gonna drop it down to an 8. For what it was, this chapter's not bad. I can see what she was trying to do. He did kind of move me a little bit when it came to the feels or whatever, with Furuta saying like, "Oh, if I told you want to live a normal life, you would probably laugh, huh?" But like, that's kind of it. I don't know. Like, this chapter was underwhelming. It could have been better, but it wasn't. But it's not a bad chapter. It's just like I can accept it for the circumstance that we're currently in, but that doesn't necessarily mean I like it. So, I like, God, you know, I can't even give this chapter like an accurate rating. Like, I'm like fluctuating between like a 6 to an 8. And it's just like, the more I think about it, the more I dislike it, and then the more I think about it, the more I like it a little bit. So it's kind of like I can't give it an accurate rating. This chapter has a lot of problems, and it also did do some good stuff. But I kind of feel like in this situation, the cons kind of outweigh the pros. But I don't know. Whatever. Chapter rating is not important. Either way, tell me how you guys felt about this chapter. I have issues with it. Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? I have a feeling the fandom's about to be very split, more than they were last week about the Naki situation. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. Remember to comment, rate, subscribe. As always, guys, I love you all. Jalen Hawk is always signing out. And the next 3 or 2 chapters are going to be interesting. See you guys.